Hello, I'm Robert Ojanna, and this is the Walking Podcast. Hello, and welcome to this story of the Walking Podcast, which I want to share just after this hopefully beautiful Christmas time for all of us, the New Year celebrations, and the beginning of the new year with all our dreams and all our ideas that we want to accomplish, that we want to get closer to, and just to live the way we just want to embrace it and would like to see our lives evolve. And for me, one of my goals, one of my just aims for this year is very much connected to just everyday situations. Maybe you know that feeling when you're in a certain situation, be it a conversation with people, at the dinner table, together with friends, deciding upon something, just in general with people at a certain place, and then suddenly you might just feel uncomfortable or just not in the moment as you would like to be. So for me, this sometimes causes just inconvenience, and in these situations I'm just wondering, why is it that I cannot fully embrace the moment? And funnily at a location at a time that I wouldn't have expected it, at a New Year's party, I talked to another person, and we got to a very interesting conversations about just how his life evolved, how he deliberately took action to change the way his life was just going, and where he was heading at. And the way he described his approach was very abstract to me, and I couldn't really grasp it fully. So I offered him. I was seeking to get a very practical approach towards it, like something that would encompass what he was describing with his theory, with his framework. So I asked him the following. So when you're in a moment, and you feel that you would like to be somewhere else, isn't it then the time to take the necessary steps and action to make this happen? And for me, this is a very, very interesting approach towards navigating through situations in which you feel uncomfortable, which are inconvenient to you. And I feel that that's also connected to what I shared in a previous episode, in a previous story, on how to be a genuine character. That I feel it's so important to be, even if you feel you're non-conformist to the society you live in, if you feel that for some parts of your personality, of your character, you might be edgy under the current, structures of society. So then, how to break out of these, situations and moments in which you feel that just because you are a genuine character, you feel misplaced, or you feel that something in that situation is not the way it needs to be for you to feel comfortable and safe. So what I will, for me, what I took as a learning lesson from this conversation was that for any situation in the future, I will just very delicately and very sensitively listen to my body, listen to my, observe my feelings and my emotions, and I will try to ask myself, am I comfortable in the current situation, or do I want to be actually somewhere else? And if this is the case, then can I take the necessary steps to leave that situation or to change it? And like the last moment when I experienced that was actually just yesterday. I'm at a friend's place at the moment, and I was staying at the living room, just reading a book, while there were two more people having a conversation. And at one point, one person left the room, leaving only the other person and me in the room. So this caused this, suddenly, like, it caused that feeling inside me of slight awkwardness, because I knew that there's only this person and me in the room, and societal norms sort of, pressured me to start a conversation with that person. Whereas actually my deeper feeling, and just due to my character, I would have just probably preferred to continue reading the book. So I started that conversation, which is just like it's not a very probably meaningful example that I'm sharing right now, but it was just one of these situations in which I realized, okay, I followed societal rules. I stopped reading my book and started the conversation, because that was sort of maybe the expectation in this situation. Whereas I might have just continued reading my book, because that would have been what was probably closer to my own character. And certainly I feel what can lift up such a situation in which you might be perceived as awkward, then, because you try to follow what your character requires in a given situation. You might just want to talk about it. So I could have just, in the next situations, I will definitely try to do that. I would just openly communicate to the other persons that I observe that something in this situation is just not right for me, and therefore I might go my own way, or therefore I will leave you guys for 15 minutes, just because I feel like in this situation there's nothing in there for me that really connects to who I am and how I feel. And I hope to, in doing so, not to offend people, but to rather be transparent about how I feel, and to also communicate that in order to be safe and be comfortable, I would need a change of certain aspects of a given moment. So this is the Walking Podcast. My name is Robert Ojanna, and I'm signing off from this episode about changing the moment. I hope that you all succeed with recognizing situations and moments in which you are not truly yourself, in which you cannot fully show others what a great person you are, because you're limited due to certain factors in the given moment. And I hope that in this year you will encounter many moments in which you can actually just turn it around. Just get the grip back on the road and get back behind the steering wheel and just say, look, I want to change this now because I feel like it's the right thing to do for me. And I hope that it will, just help you to get closer to living a life that is just you, and that is just your character. So I wish you a beautiful rest of the day. Have a sunny week. Get a lot of sunshine inside your heart. Share your feelings with others. take care of yourself and others. And I hope to get all your feedback, of your situations that you want to share with me, with others. And I hope to see you soon back.